Hey guys, we've recently installed two dual shades in our new living room, and I want to go through today our experience, what we found about it, and actually some of the tips and tricks along the way. We went ahead and checked out blinds from Kincmo, and this is the samples that we received to actually take our pick. They actually probably provide the most amount of different samples in one small package. There's a lot of different options here. We went through each material and we tried to imagine how our room would look like with them, and then we kind of settled for the ones we see behind us. So these are dual shades. We have the daylight as well as the nighttime fully blackout shades here, and to be honest, they are really slick, but they do have some problems. Before we get to that, let's go through our ordering process and what options you have along the way. Kincmo has quite a big range of options to choose from. They even have no drill motorized blinds, but since the width of our window is quite large, we chose the dual shades. So this is the exact configuration we went with for our media room. The material and color options here really took us by surprise. We were not expecting to see that many variations. For the layer closer to the window, we chose a 50% blackout sheer ivory white. That gives us a softer daylight effect and acts more like a daytime curtain. Then for the room facing layer, we went with 100% blackout dreamy dark grey. That one is there for proper light blocking and also matches the color scheme we wanted in the room. Originally, they also have the sheer material meant to be as a front shade, but we added a custom note to make the light filtering 50% layer the closest to the window. Then we selected the outside mount. Since our window is very wide, we split into two shades instead of trying to force one huge unit. And it's very nice of them to add a box confirmation of the dimensions. Better safe than sorry. For the motor, we went with the matte over thread. This was the obvious pick for us because we wanted the cleaner smart home route and better long-term integration potential. Then we chose the square fabric wrapped valance in white. We felt that looked the cleanest for the room and gives it more finished built-in look. And for the bottom rod, we kept it simple with the standard steel grey option. Motor placement was also important. We set one blind with the motor to the left side and the other to the right side. That helps keep the middle section tighter and makes more sense for the two blind setup like this. For control, we chose the 15-channel LCD wall mount remote, which gives us a bit more flexibility since we have other smart blinds as well. And because these are going to be in the room where convenience matters, we also selected the upgraded solar panel option. It would have been nice to have the cables for the solar panels in white like the charging cables, but currently they only offer the black option. We skipped the USB charger and the light blockers. On paper, this looked like the best balance of a daylight use, blackout performance, smart control and overall aesthetics for our space. Once we received the shades and we actually unboxed, we went through a bunch of components that we got inside. Starting with the 3 simple brackets, 3 extension brackets, 2 charging cables for the 2 motors that you get, as well as, in our example, the upgraded solar panels. The solar panels are actually way bigger than the ones we had on our previous devices, so hopefully they will last much longer. So we charge our blinds once every 2 to 3 months. Hopefully with these ones we can get 3 to 6 months. We'll see how it goes. Installation itself was very simple. We have 3 sets of brackets on each device, and within each bracket there are basically just 3 screw holes. So you make 3 screw holes, put the plugs in and put the brackets on. And then the actual unit itself clicks onto it. It's really simple and actually very easy to remove. As far as setup goes, this is where it gets a bit complicated. So the actual setup is very simple, and one of these blinds was already pre-registered on the additional controller that we received. But the other blind was not. So we had to reset it and reconfigure it and go through the whole setup. The one problem we have with this device is it has a single button on the actual blind and it controls every single feature. Everything from resetting it fully to setting it into normal radio pairing mode or a matte pairing mode. So it's a bit complicated. That single button is awkward. It's very hard to reach, and also it's not a simple clicky button. It's kind of one of those flat buttons that you kind of press in order for it to activate, and it doesn't always work. So the most important part here is have it configured to your remote, and then the remote can trigger all the other modes that you need moving forward. And for me, once I set that up, it didn't matter anymore. I then used the controller to enable Matter, and then with Matter, I can now control the blinds fully in Home Assistant. Being able to automate the home and have your blinds automatically go up and down based on configurations of the sun, or let's say you turn on your TV, or other reasons. One other tip I would probably recommend is pair them before you put them up, because it's much easier to reach the button while the blinds are still off. Do be mindful, if you press the button wrongly, the blind will start coming down or coming back up. So you might need to quickly press it to pause it, because if it's just laying down, it's very easy to tangle it and make a mess of it. Because of our particular configuration, I think we pushed this particular system a bit too far. Because of the length of this particular blind, specifically the 100% blackout shade, it actually rubs on the cover ever so slightly, but it does create quite a lot of noise. Let's just see. So in the bottom, it's not too bad, but as it fills up and it gets thicker, it gets louder. And you can hear the further it goes, the louder it gets. And if I just push it across, it almost gets quiet. And then it's really, really loud here. So that's a concern with some of these shades. So if you get a really long one, you might experience something like this. I would recommend in that example, maybe not go with a dual unit, but separate them out into two separate units. Therefore, you have more space up there to separate the actual blinds. In terms of the daylight share, this isn't a problem. So when you press it up, it's actually pretty quiet. In fact, I probably would say this might be quieter than the ones we had before. We also tested the speed of these blinds. The left one is set to maximum speed and the right one is set to minimum speed. And this is a difference that you have. It's not terrible, but the slower one is actually quieter as well for obvious reasons. But as you can see, by the time the left one finishes, this one's only 3/4 down. So that's something to be mindful of, but you have the ability to adjust the speed if you want to. And that applies to any blinds that they have, which is quite nice. I personally prefer the faster mode. Just get it out and get it over with, and you can get ready for watching TV or whatever else. So your place is set up. In terms of the blinds, the main thing for me is ability to integrate them. And once I've gone through the initial pairing problems, I got them into my Home Assistant, and now I have freedom to do basically anything I want. So one of the examples is when it's evening time and we want to use this room, we're going to use a sensor to detect our presence in here and bring down the blinds. If we're watching TV and it's daytime or even nighttime, we want to bring down the blinds and then turn on the TV and set an ambience in this particular room. You can do all of these things, and it's really convenient to have something like that completely integrated to your Home Assistant. But be mindful as well. With some of the automations, you also need to be aware that these blinds don't have any safety mechanisms in them. So if they snag or if they crash into something, they will just carry on going. So be aware and make sure that either you leave space around them or you always monitor them when automation is running. But overall, from the limited time that we've used these blinds, I'm actually pretty happy with them. It makes this room come together. It also makes it very efficient in terms of when we're watching TV or just want to hang out in here and have a bit of privacy from the outside world. Thanks for watching. If you think this is something you might want to order, check out the link below for more details. As always, we'll see you in the next one.